That anime girl will never be real. This was a popular notion in the early 2000s, but then came schizophrenia and the first VTuber Gargura. Don't fact check me on that. This was the first step to a connection between anime girls and people who think labia is a type of cheese. These individuals began interacting with 2D women for small amounts of money, building them shrines, marrying them. This is an anime about how to take advantage of those suckers.
I'll never forgive the VTubers.
Let me give you a satire synopsis of the anime. Meet Miracle. You're gonna forget about her as soon as this video ends. She's an aspiring VTuber on Chatterbait with budget Oshinoko eyes and the personality of a chihuahua on crack. What is a VTuber, you may be wondering, if they haven't invaded your YouTube feed already? I'm glad you asked, because I've been training for years listening to them while working specifically for the purpose of making this video. VTubers are live streaming anime girls that combine your two favorite things, video games and false hope. Miracle, as a new VTuber, is running into a bit of a problem. The market is very oversaturated, so she gets no views. This is why she goes to VTuber Academy to learn the fundamentals, parasocial relationships 101, scamming fans 1102, and of course Apology Videos 2100 taught by Colleen.
The only thing I've ever groomed is my 2 Persian cats.
Hello, I'm an Otari. M is meaning smile.
Miracle is doing all of this because she's obsessed with Kizuna Ai, who is widely regarded as the first VTuber, despite us knowing who really was the first one. This is when Miracle shows us that she has what it takes to become your star. That's right, she has 0 brain cells because she uses her legal government name and her real face. All I need now is the last 4 digits of her social and I can pay for a trip to the Titanic.
Hello, I'm an Otari. M is meaning smile.
After doing a performance, she realized that a popular VTuber was watching her.
今ノエル捕まえてコラボ申し込めるんじゃない?
Wow. Bonus points for accuracy. Viewers do only know 2 words, and that is collab and what's your opinion on the crisis in France? This is when the writing team ran into a bit of a problem. Team, we made a mistake. Was it making an anime about VTubers when people could just watch VTubers instead? Yes, but also we have no conflict in the story.
Okay, so a friend of mine who goes to a different school said that he liked High School DxD because it had a tournament arc and for no other reason at all.
Nice. The tournament is based off who gets the most views, where you have to be in the top 15 to make it to season 2. Now Miracle must put together a team of girls who all look like they went into character creation and just changed a streak of hair. However, some are more difficult to befriend than others.
Your life is nothing. You serve 0 purpose. You should kill yourself now.
From this point onward, every episode follows the same format. A long One Piece recap, someone runs into a minor inconvenience, thinks about giving up until they remember what Kizuna Ai once said.
Never back down, never give up.
Sings the exact same song they do in every episode, then talk about NFTs as an outro. Yet against all odds, by the end, she makes it into the top 15, along with her friend who did literally 2 live streams because she has more plot armor than Cinderella's shoe. But at least they got their grand prize.
You don't want to be like this. This is disgusting.
Have you ever been clickbaited into watching a terrible video like the one you're watching right now? This is how I felt because Kizuna Ai appears less time than Imotori will appear in this video. I didn't mention much about Miracle, mostly because she's the most boring protagonist I've ever had the displeasure of watching, mostly because she's the worst type of person. A happy one. Miracle met Kizuna Ai as a girl, and like when all little kids discover YouTubers, they're all like, I want to be a YouTuber and be happy. Well, you only get one, because most kids don't realize the hard work that goes into this. Not everyone can sleep 12 hours a day like I can. From that moment, she became infatuated with her, some may even say parasocial, basing her entire life on becoming just like her, despite her having the personality of a stick of unsalted butter. The rest of the characters are just tropes. Kudere, Tsundere, Mighty Bean, and this one's name is Riz, who looks like a reskinned Crunchyroll mascot. Out of this cast, you may have recognized the main problem here, a lack of lolly VTubers, despite us knowing there would be because Japan is out here spawn camping. I say this because one of the most important things about VTubers is their designs. Notice how all of these are unique with designs that tell you about their personality. Adding slightly different colored hair doesn't make them unique, it makes them another Super Saiyan transformation. The only original ones were the background characters, like the one with the a dog on its head. Just don't let Inukai find out about that one. Another important thing about successful VTubers is that they're real people. Some guys, some girls, some pretending to be girls. But all successful ones have a personality that feels less like an anime girl and more like a real person. These personalities are what make them stand out. Some may be on drugs, some may like horses. Horses may like some of them. Then you have our main cast. Excluding Chris, I think I'd rather watch the AI VTuber.
Would any of you like to lick my feet? I'm not going to say no.
Before I talk about why this show is the worst thing since the Anime Expo health codes, let's talk about what the show did right. Thanks for listening. Alright, fine. The use of the 3D models was surprisingly good for the last performance. Not sure what the hell happened to the rest of the show. Chris was a fun character to watch, and the episode where they played SAO almost convinced me that the show could actually be good, until they started talking again.
Hello! I'm an Otori!
They did have an arc where the audience tried to dox a VTuber despite us having two options, which is something VTuber fans love doing, another realism point. But most importantly, it's very good at doing its main job of making us want to watch VTubers, because I'd much rather be doing that than this. This anime had many reasons for its creation. First off, it was to promote their YouTube channel, but when I looked into them, I realized something.
皆さん、こんばんは。チームラテンです。
I don't speak Japanese. The second reason was...
で、NFT ってなんだっけ？代替できないということは偽造ができないんですよ。
I now own this part of the anime. Send me $1 million if you want it. Kizuna Ai underwent a bit of controversy when she announced her indefinite hiatus due to an interest in NFTs. This really didn't bother me, since I didn't watch her anyways, and I'm convinced that NFTs were just a social experiment to test Darwin's law of survival of the fittest. The mention of NFTs in the anime reignited that anger, but I have to say, you guys are wrong about this one. It's just a canon event for all YouTubers to sponsor NFT scams.
I've made a severe and continuous.
Hello! I'm an Otori! M is meaning smile!
Recently, anime fans have been tricked into something worse than NFTs, and that is thinking that idol anime are actually amazing. So it was good that this story reminded me that most aren't.
次のクラスの予習しておこうっと。
Okay, what the fuck?
Oh yes, the complexity of VTubing requires me to see what these shapes are.
Exactly how I'd be a VTuber.
The overlying plot is that if you try really hard for something, then you will be successful, which obviously isn't true otherwise.
Hello! I'm an Otori! M is meaning smile!
The story itself was so impressively bad that it tricked my brain into thinking I could understand Japanese so that it could zone out. Just making this video was a struggle, so...
All I ask is when you lay your head on that pillow at night, know I gave you everything I had.
Watching this show made me realize that the writers don't know what it takes for a VTuber to be successful. Unlike what they say, you can't just be yourself. Do you think that Marine is actually a 30-year-old pirate? No, she's 40. But what it really takes to be successful is to stream more than 20 seconds a day. Not to mention, they are terrible at making conflict. They just make some random VTuber girl mess with them. With so much freedom, it wouldn't have been hard to make a good story for a VTuber anime like Virtual Son Looking.
僕は馬、人型の馬。
It was animated by Wit Studio, which has me convinced that they play this game where they only make great anime, then for fun make an anime so bad it violates the Geneva Convention. The animation was not great, but my main problem is just how boring they made the virtual world. You can't even tell the difference between the virtual world and the real one. The main character looks the same in the real world, despite them constantly saying, "You can be anything you want in the virtual world." If I was there, I would be Emotori. The music may be the greatest crime known to man. I have never seen an idol anime where they just repeat two songs with different lyrics. This one song got reused more times than Riley Reid. The song honestly isn't terrible, but it's definitely no Gargura creep. Overall, the anime just had no identity of its own. It felt too safe, too generic. The worst part is that it wasn't even funny bad, it's just bad bad. I'm just glad that I'll never have to watch this again. There's no way. 10 out of 10 best anime ever made. Subscribe for season 2.
I'm Guy. Thank you forever. Hello! I'm an Otori! M is meaning